and welcome to Talking Balls with FM Scout. I'm Bood FM, and I'm here today with a few guys from the FM Scout YouTube team. Now, this is the first in hopefully a long series we're going to be doing where we're just going to be talking about Football Manager, things we like, things we don't like, things we want to see in the future games, and a bit of fun as well. Hopefully we can get some special guests on the show. But this first episode, we're just going to have a general chat about the game and introduce some of the lads. Also, before we get started, I just want to say we're going to be having a little competition where hopefully you guys can enter, make an FM Scout video, and hopefully get it on the channel. We'll talk about that later. But first, let's get talking to the lads, and we'll start with Teach FM. How's it going, mate?
I'm not too bad, mate. How are you?
Yeah, I'm good. I've had a long day, but I'm good. Basically, how long have you been on FM Scout, and are you enjoying it?
I've been on, I think it must be about 3 weeks, maybe 4 weeks at the moment. Good crowd of lads, obviously. I'm enjoying it to some degree. You know, some of you I don't like, Troy. But no, it's been great because as someone who was sort of very new in the community, it was great to find other creators. Basically, you could basically get to talk to. They help you along in many ways, sort of on Scout, off Scout, with my own channel, etc. So yeah, it's been really good.
Yeah, good. Explain your current series on your own channel.
Oh, well, yeah, of course, Teach FM. I'm running Manchester United Save on my channel at the moment, currently deep into Season 3. It's got good traction at the moment. It's been doing really well. I don't want to give away too many spoilers, but it's certainly worth checking out. Very new to YouTube in general, so I think I've been doing daily content, which has been a big thing. Sort of a big thing for my growth from what I can gather from around the community. But yeah, I think I've just done, episode 54 or 55 on the bounce. It's just not long released there. So yeah, it's going well, hopefully.
So you're new to YouTube, but you're not new to the game. How long have you played the game?
Oh, God, no. Well, I've been playing, I think it must have been Championship Manager 2. It's about 94, 95 when I started playing sort of the series. Long time, sort of little over 20 years. And before that, I was playing a game that was actually on floppy disk. You actually used to have to use MS-DOS before Windows was even a thing, called Premier Manager, and it sort of evolved from there. And now and again, with a year or two out here and there, just growing up and doing different things, but Football Manager's always sort of held a place with me, and it's just one of those games that, as I'm sure we can all agree with, you just can't put it down. It's just one of them, and it always come back to it. And no matter what, you can even try and play the same career, but you always end up with the same game. You always end up with a different game, never the same game. It's always changing, and I think that's what half the pull is. Yeah,
it's awesome, isn't it? We all love it. Right, next, let's move on to Curty, the beautiful Curty FM. How's it going, mate?
I'm good, Bood. How are you?
Yeah, good, yeah. Happy day for me. I've been to, as you all know, my antenatal class, learning how to breastfeed.
That's important for you. I mean, I've got some decent ones here that you might help you, but I don't know. Maybe a bit inappropriate.
Yeah, your man boobs?
Yeah, my massive man boobs.
I did actually ask, have you ever seen Meet the Fockers when Robert De Niro's got the fake boob?
Yeah.
I asked if I could get one of them, and she just looked at me like I was stupid.
She had you
just like, had you coined as the troublemaker, clearly.
So, Curty, how long have you been with FM Scout, and are you enjoying it?
I'm not sure, actually. I think I've done about 8 or 9 videos or something like that. But it's been awesome for me, and like certainly for growth on my channel. Like, it's given me so much exposure. Obviously, FM Scout's got quite a big following, so it's been hugely beneficial for me. And like, as you know, just echoing what Teach said, really, you get to work with some really good lads. None of them are here, unfortunately. But it's been top draw, to be honest with you.
Yeah, so we'll have a cheeky plug of your series, what you're up to in a minute, because I know it's a new one.
It is. Started. Yeah, I've just started. It's Curty FM is my channel. I've just started a new save with my club, my beloved wrong side, Aldershot Town, and we're just in episode 4. So, but this will be hopefully the series that sees me through to the end of FM 17.
Yeah, it's very good.
If you haven't seen any yet, get involved now.
Yeah, there'll be a link down below to everyone's series. So how long have you played the game?
I've been playing the game actually since the very first edition. My old man always had like an Atari or an Amiga, and I think it came out originally on like the Amiga ST or something like that.
Yeah, the first one.
Yeah. So I used to watch him playing it for hours. Like, he'd never let me play it, but then after I put the hours in just watching him play, and eventually he was like, "Okay, let's have a game together." So I was Liverpool, he was Man United.
Does he still play it?
Yeah, he still plays it. Yeah, to this day. Yeah. In fact, the other day I helped him install some graphics from the FM Scout website onto his game.
Great website.
So, yeah. So he still plays it. But I still list one of my finest achievements on Football Manager as beating him in the semi-finals of the European Cup, as it was known then, and going on to win the final with Liverpool.
Did he talk to you after that?
There was a few weeks where I wasn't allowed to play the game again, so it was tough. But yeah, I've been playing it for years, like on and off. I haven't bought every edition, but yeah, obviously like love the game, and it's just a great game, isn't it? It's just so immersive.
Right, let's move on. Actually, let's go all the way to the other side of the world and talk to Jason Donovan's stunt double in Neighbours. FM Life, or Troy as we know him. How's it going, Troy? All right.
Hey, Bird, how you going? Yeah, pretty good. How long I've been with Scout? I suppose that was the first question. I think it's been just since just before the release of FM 17, and we did one video. So what's that? October, I think.
Yeah, not long after me, was it?
Yeah, I think it was just after you. So, it's been a good run. And a couple of videos, a lot of exposure to the community, which is good and help the channel grow. And it's a good community, and everyone gets involved, everyone helps. So yeah, pretty happy with about that. My save is with Charlton. It's going slowly. We just won the title in the League One, which has been pretty good. But yeah, I'm just trying to do a little bit different in my saves, just trying to give it a little bit more tips rather than just the funny skits, which are good to watch. But I just try to, I thought I'd bring something a little bit different.
It's going well for you, isn't it? It's going well.
Yeah, it's going very well.
Subscribers are going really, really high, aren't they? Like nearly on 1.5k, aren't you? So it's going well.
Yeah. For my kind of content, which is I think I'm pretty happy with. It's up. I think the subscribers I just tweeted out are on the same amount of subscribers, Bood. And we're on a race. We're on a race to 1,500. So I tweeted out, who will win. You can choose whatever. So yeah, hopefully I'll beat you. But yeah, it's been good. But for me, my experience with the game, it's been pretty recent actually. Only FM 12 is when I started. Because I was playing FIFA Manager. Yeah, I was playing FIFA Manager.
What's that?
Yeah. Why would you confess that?
A small little franchise, yeah, I know. Well, in Australia, like we had Championship Manager and Football Manager, but I was brought up. I've been playing since the first FIFA. So when I saw FIFA Manager, I was always when playing the earlier FIFA games. I was always into the management side of things. That's why I picked up that, and I played a couple of years. And then I went to the shops to go and buy the newest FIFA Manager. It wasn't there. And I kept on seeing this Football Manager. Every shop I went to is Football Manager. I said, well, it's got to be a good game. I said, screw it, I'll just buy it. So I bought it, took it home, and
blew your mind.
Jesus Christ, it was it was very in depth, and I didn't know because of FIFA Manager. I don't know if you've ever played it, but the tactic side of things, there's nothing there really. You just pick a formation.
Yeah, it's minimal.
Yeah, it's very minimal. Like the other side of things are pretty decent, but just the tactic side of it, it's pretty minimal. So I had no idea. So that's when I turned to YouTube for tips, and none of you guys were there. Maybe Azzopardi at 15.
No, Dave won't have been there. Yeah. And talking about Dave, I thought I'd save the best for till last because he's like even though he's the youngest, he's like the granddad of the team, and he's been here forever. A lot of the reason why FM Scout is what it is today is because of Dave. So how are you doing, Dave?
Yeah, I'm good. I was with FM Scout, I think it's coming towards 2 years, like when I first started with FM Scout. But as I said, if some kind of avid viewers of the channel noticed, I had a little bit of a break at the start of FM 17. I kind of just wanted to focus on my own channel a little bit just to kickstart, because I got a fresh PC and stuff. I wanted to stream a little bit more, and it just gave me a lot more time at the start of Football Manager. So on my channel I did, I've had a couple of saves which haven't quite gone to plan. But at the moment...
He got the sack.
Yeah. I got sacked twice already. And then in the end, once I got sacked from the second team, I kind of tried to keep the save going. But it was never really the same after one season. So I decided to give it the ghost. And we started a brand new save over in Germany. I didn't want to just go with a big team. I wanted to try and I haven't really done it myself before, and try to build a team from quite low, stick with them, and just try and rival some of the bigger teams in the same sort of area. So I went and chose 1860 Munich with really low finances. They actually stadium share with Bayern as well. So long-term goal is to topple Bayern. But yeah, we've just about almost finished the third season of that on my channel now. But I mean, if you wanted to watch 4 or 5 videos a day, you could probably catch up on that series in just under a week or so. But yeah,
it's worth it. It's good series.
Yeah,
I like that challenge.
Yeah. As I say, like similar with Troy and that, and I just try and be myself. I'm trying to be myself a little bit more. I've kind of tried the funny stuff and that. I don't feel it suited me so much, but I'm just trying to be myself.
Because you realised you weren't funny.
Yeah.
I thought it was good, but like anything, once you start doing sketches and stuff,
it's a lot of effort as well.
You've got that pressure of doing it every one, and you're constantly thinking about that instead of your series. And
so like fair play to the people that do it. Like obviously you got Benji and stuff like that.
He's good at that.
Yeah. So I just try a bit like. I'm trying to be myself, show a little bit more in the game. Like when I've been watching Toby, I know he's quite new to it, but he actually shows you a lot of the stuff, what he does behind the scenes and things like that. So I'm going to try and start showing that a little bit more as well. But Football Manager wise, I've been playing the game for 10 years. So FM 2007 was my first one. But again, I came across it by accident. I think I might have played FIFA Manager first, one of them, before FM. I'm not 100% sure though. And I went to buy... the Wolves had their own management game, and I went to the stadium to buy it, and they didn't sell it anymore, but they sold FM 2007, so I thought I'd give that a go. But I probably didn't start playing the game properly until about FM 09. FM 07, I was like, how old was I? I was only like 10, so I was still like,
oh God.
I was like adding new managers of like Man U and buying my crappiest reserve player for about 100 million or something daft like that, just so I had a bit of money for Wolves. Yeah, it was one of them. But yeah, I've been playing it 10 years, and been doing YouTube as a whole for just over 2 years, like full years properly. I've done it on and off for like 5 years, but never had like been stuck to a series. So yeah, there you go.
Well, yeah, nice one. Well, you always make me feel old because every time I say this, the first game I bought was the year you were born. So I've played it every year of your life, but I haven't played as long as some of these guys because I used to play it a lot when I was younger on like older computers, and then I didn't get into Championship Manager till 97, 98, but like everyone, as soon as you get that, you're stuck, aren't you? And you play it. You never don't play it. I've never not bought it. It is a great game. It is.
What about your channel, Bood?
My channel? I've got... you bothered? Yeah, I've got a series at the minute with Huddersfield. I've just hit episode 30, so if you wanted to catch up on that, there'd be quite a bit to catch up on. But I am loving it. I do love making it. It's a lot of fun. It's a lot of work, what I do with it, but I enjoy it. I enjoy every aspect of it. And just doing this, meeting all you guys, it has been mint because I genuinely like you lot, you know. Honestly, they've not paid me to say that. No, it has been good, you know. But yeah, so yeah, played it a long time, and yeah, Huddersfield Town. Right, next thing. Right, what we're going to do? We're going to start off with. We're going to have a little general chat about this year's game, about Football Manager 2017, and just discuss some of the things we like about it first. So I don't know if anyone's got anything they want to say. What are you enjoying about it the most at the minute? I just
think it's the most complete game they've had probably ever. So the game I've enjoyed the most since FM 09 or FM 12. Like last year, I just couldn't get into the game for whatever reason, but this game just seems a lot more complete. Even I don't know, it just seems a lot more comfortable to get into. There's a lot more features, as in like you can. Obviously, the social media thing was quite a culture shock at first, but it's kind of just there now. But the interaction with the players and everything like that, I don't know if it's just my preference of team choice, but personally I think it's a much better game than last year's as a whole. Yeah,
I agree. I mean, when it first came out, I thought it was a bit too samey, but I think once I started to play it, I realised
you got into it.
It's a lot better. It's a lot better than last year's and the year before. I mean, I agree. 12 was a good game.
Yeah, I
had a fantastic save on that game. But it has been good this year. Anyone else?
Well, yeah, I just think like certainly like with the match engine as well. Like last year, just far post crosses was so OP. It was ridiculous, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And they've tweaked that obviously. I mean, I've just found out because I've just started my lower league save. Just found out just how rubbish goalkeepers and defenders are.
Ooh, yeah.
Oh my God, they're terrible.
Yeah.
Like the amount of like awful first touches from defenders, or just keepers chucking it in their own net.
A few
that's
mistakes. Like
frustrating.
I've had a keeper just drop it at my. I mean, it was good for me, but the keeper just dropped it at the striker's foot and he just tapped it in. It was like, what? That's got to be a bug or something. But
Yeah, possibly. But I mean, I guess you have to have certain levels, don't you? Like your Premier League level. But even so, like some of the mistakes are just horrendous to watch.
Yeah.
The social media thing, actually, I think, like from our perspective as sort of YouTube people, the social media feed can be quite a good tool. However, I think if I was playing offline, because that's the thing about when you're making videos yourself, you're not playing it as much.
no, that's one thing we
but
all
if I was
say.
playing off. I think if I was playing offline, I'd probably ignore the social media feed a bit. But with creating it and trying to sort of create a narrative for your save and for your series, using bits of the social media feed are quite useful.
Yeah, I'll be honest, I've not used it much.
No, I think it's
forget
rubbish.
I've got it.
Yeah,
It's the same thing, isn't it?
I was
Yeah,
waiting
not
till
that
we were
many
speaking.
responses.
I was waiting till we were speaking about bad things about the game, and I was going to say, well,
No, like,
You're holding it back.
Before you do, Teach, have you got anything good to say about it? What's your favourite part, Teach?
I think the best thing I can say about, I mean, for someone who's been playing it for so many years, there's never that much that they add that comes as a great surprise, and that's not a slur at the developers, because the game is improving. And I think probably my favourite part of this year's game is the match engine, because it's such an expanse of software, if you like, and coding, that the fact that there's nowhere near as many exploits, and Curty just touched on one a moment ago about far post crossing, but last year's game was full of corner techniques, formations. I mean, I know there's still a couple this year that you can play, and I'm not going to name them because I don't really like the fact that people play exploiting tactics, but it certainly seems that they got their game together this year and managed to iron out most of these exploits before the game even released. So it's a great thing, as I say. So from anything that they've added to the game, for me personally, there's not a right lot changed, because I've always gone very in depth on the likes of the interacting with players, like Dave was saying, and etc. But from the overall game, it is definitely a better game, because it's taken away a lot of the exploits that, in my mind, made the game very unrealistic. I mean, who runs some of these crazy formations that we were seeing in last year's game? No one does it in world football, and the only reason a lot of these formations were kicking round was because it basically beat the match engine, and we're not there to beat the engine, we're there to beat the opposition manager, the team, the players on the other teams. So the fact that it's kept it a little bit more real this year, I suppose, is the bit that I like about it.
I agree with that. You got to be really clever with this game as well, and like especially at the start of the game, there's loads of people moaning that they couldn't just like download a tactic off the website and it would work straight away. Because like in past years, you could literally just go on FM Scout now, download a tactic, and you win the league straight away.
Yeah.
But now you have to change mentality, change instructions all the time. Like you have to even like, I know it's not massive, but even press conferences and stuff are a big part of it, with like managers and stuff, and you've just got to keep on top of it all the time and review your opposition, what they're doing. So if you kind of just click, that's it, watch the match and play and so on, you probably find that you're struggling. You still always need to just tweak your tactics or do team talks during the match and so on. I've found doing team talks this year and the match does help a lot more than
Yeah,
what
I've
I used to do.
team talks are good this year. I mean, I've given a lot of half-time bollockings, and it has turned the game around, you know. But I'll be honest, I have a set way of playing. I like wingers, and you all know that. I like top, don't I? And that was ace for me last year. I was so successful, but what exploiting it, that's how I always like to play. And this year I've got a few tactics, and they work, but I don't really tweak them that much. But I'm not scoring as many as I used to. From like, because I had an awesome corner tactic last year. Don't you? If you watch my series last year, the amount of times I corner straight to the edge of the box, boom, blast it in the net. I scored a million of them, but can't do that this year. It just won't work. So.
Yeah.
That was Rono on the edge of the box, wasn't it?
Lucky, yeah. Ken Rono, do you remember him?
Yeah.
But going back to what Dave was saying about the team talks, etc., or press conferences, I've always been a believer that they've been important. always. I mean, how many times in years gone by, I don't know whether any of you guys who've always used the assistant manager and the players turn because they didn't enjoy the team talk or anything. And I think I've often called Football Manager more, it's more about morale than anything else. And then I know a lot of you guys watch the Fergie way, and I bleat about it quite a lot because it has so much importance for me. So it's actually quite good to hear about people who have not maybe paid much attention to press conferences, team talk, praising a player for training well, or criticising a player for having a bad game, or if anyone, I know Curty mentioned this the other day, but I dropped a world-class player because his head was turned by another club, and he actually came back better. He missed, I think it was 4 games. He was fine. He could have played, but I dropped him, and I think this year it's so much more important to be trying to have an influence on your players via punishment and praise, basically.
Yeah, I agree with that because I've run a few. I've done a few tactics videos on the FM Scout video, on the FM Scout channel. Sorry, and basically I sim it. So I set the tactic and then I sim the tactic just to see how it gets on. And there always comes a point in the season, because I leave it to my assistant manager, there always comes a point in the season where there's unrest in the squad and morale starts to go down. So at that point I then have to stop the simulation, because I know if I carried on, it won't be a true test, if you like, because all the players' morale is down, and morale is so important in this game. So just touching on what Teach just said, like man management and actually being proactive when you're dealing with players is really, really important in this game. And if anything, it's made it more.
Well, I did a.
I mean, I've always done that.
Yeah,
talk to my players and give them bollockins, but I think you should do. Just before I ask you, FM, sorry.
Yeah.
Troy, do any of you like me use sideline instructions? Because I love them. I think they're better this year.
Well, the sideline shouts.
That's
what I was on about earlier. So like team talks during the match, like that's what I was on about. Like I rarely use them in past FMs, but I found this year, like the calm encouraging, the calm demand more, like they seem to work really, really well.
Overload, push forward, works.
I'll be honest, Bode.
Yeah. This year.
I'll be honest, Bode. I've only started using them because I've been watching your series, and I noticed how much you use them. And I noticed how much benefit you get from it, and that's basically why I've started using
like
them.
Just at the end when you want to close out a game, just tell me to tighten up or concentrate. Things like that do work, and I think you can be successful using it. So anyway, Troy, sorry for interrupting.
Yeah, you're right.
What were you going to say?
Just about the morale. I did a tips video, and it was an experiment. I just simmed the one game. I simmed it 5 times. So the first time with just the normal morale, not praising anything, not doing anything about the morale. And I think we lost most of the games and drew a couple. And then the next time that I praised everything in the morale, just as an experiment, praised everything, got the morale as high as possible without obviously cheating. And then simmed it 5 times, and the results were a lot better when the morale was a lot higher than when it wasn't. And that was just the one game simmed 5 times. So the micromanagement, it comes in. It's a big part of it, and that's for me personally. It takes me a long time just to finish the season because I'm micromanaging everything. From that morale to the backroom staff to everything, and just the preseason alone takes me a good couple of nights just to get everything, there and ready. It's just how I like to play. I mean, some people just want to hit continue all the time. But yeah. The other thing, the team talks at the touchline team talks, I do it regularly as well. But I'm not entirely sure what it does. I think it just changes morale during the game or changes body language. By the looks of the shouts, it looks like it can change tactics. But I've asked the SI in the forums, and no one kind of says anything. So I'm just guessing it either does nothing or just changes the body language. I
don't know why push forward is one if it's not going to change tactics in any way. You know what I mean?
Yeah, there's certain shouts. Surely,
if you're telling them to push forward, they're obviously gonna have to push forward. So that's surely going to have to tweak your tactics slightly. You know what I mean? So.
Yeah.
I just think it changes them mentally. They're trying to get forward more. That's how I take it. I always demand more, push forward, and just go for it. And it has worked for me so many times. I've pulled comeback in games so many times from doing that. So I believe it works. Right, next we're going to talk about what we don't like about this year's game. We've already said a few things like goalkeepers and stuff, but I just wondered if there's anything any of the lads are hating about FM17. So has anyone Got anything?
Well, I know people have said about the social media, but like some of the new staff roles, so like sports scientist, what is the point of that? Like there's no attributes that are like, you know, go towards the role. So like you can just get anyone in, and it
no
seemingly
difference
makes
to what
no
they,
difference.
like a physio or, you know, like with the analysis as well. They're just like a scout.
Yeah, well, that's how it's supposed
They're
to
not
be.
like, they've not got a different. They've not got something different that they're giving. They're just the same with a different title. That's how I see it.
It's just that SI have obviously gone, look, loads of clubs have got these guys. Let's just whack them in last minute and not really put
You do
any
get
thought.
that thing before and
Yeah.
after a game. It's a bit more, you know, it tells you about the game a bit more in a bit of detail.
Yeah.
Well, I don't use that.
Yeah,
I don't need that.
but then you don't know how reliable the data is, because like a data analyst, it doesn't tell you what attributes someone needs for that role. So like with a scout, it says, okay, you need judging player potential, you need player ability. But with a data analyst, it has none of that. So you're getting this information and you're just assuming that it's good information, but we don't know that because we don't know how good these people actually are at their job.
I totally agree.
Yeah, I think with the social media as well, I've had some times where like a player scored a hat trick or something, and then there's someone saying, "Oh, I don't actually think he was that great today."
Yeah.
The guy just fucking, we won like 4-0, he scored a hat trick.
Welcome to the internet. There's always one crank.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But then,
we know that.
Yeah.
But then I think as well, I think they're still being let down with we're being let down with the lack of the training as well.
Totally.
And then when like someone asked Miles about it, all he said was that, we didn't think anyone used it, so we didn't want to put it in the game. And it's like,
I think that's silly.
No one
That's
uses
silly.
it because it's crap. If you made it good, that's when people start using it. So yeah, it's a bit, I don't know, it's a bit short-sighted, really.
I was just about to say about just in general, like, one thing that's like been continuous has just been the lack of literature. Like, so many people rely on information from the community and people who play the game regularly and have done for years on actually how to play the game. So like I know in game you get like little tidbits about certain roles or formations and mentalities and stuff, but like the information you get in the game is so limited, and you have to go. Like when I started playing with the new match engine, so I played in 09. And then picked it up again in 2012. So like I missed the whole start of the tactics creator and all that. And literally I started playing, I had no idea what I was doing. I had to go to the SI forum just to find out what the hell was going on, because, you know, I've got quite a good, I like to think I've got quite a good football brain and think quite logically when it comes to football. But I just was completely clueless. And I think it's just a running theme with Football Manager in general, that the information, like if I was a new user buying the game now, I wouldn't have a clue.
Yeah, like on the new
Wouldn't have a clue.
Motorsport Manager game, they give you, before you actually play a proper match, they give you like a full tutorial throughout, I think, probably most part of the first season, like how to do things. And it's quite slow. Like, it was annoying because of how slow it was. But if I picked up Football Manager now, it would be very, very difficult to get used to, I feel. And it's only, I think, that I'm only used to it because I've been playing it for so long,
Yeah, do you think they rely on us lot? They think, do you know what? Half of them know what they're doing anyway.
Yeah.
And the rest of them, they'll find it off the YouTube and that. So they like don't care about that part. I feel like that, if I'm honest.
Absolutely. They know that there's so much knowledge out there and so much literature out there that they can pretty much rest on their laurels when it comes to this stuff. Unless they introduce something new into the game, they know they're covered because there's so many knowledgeable people out there who have written articles or done YouTube videos, and it's not good enough, really. You know, like I love SI and everything they've done. Like I love Football Manager, but just that one little thing, it just bugs me. It just reeks of
Well,
arrogance.
they don't need to, because as soon as the
a little
game comes out, give it a week or two, and there's a million videos out how to do this, how to download that, and we do it. So they are a bit lazy on that side of it.
Yeah, but the thing is, like, we do it, but we don't get enough recognition from Sports Interactive for doing it at the same time.
I think do you know what? I think it was Dr. Benji once
Correct.
said they should. I think it was him. I'm sure it was. They said that they should give out games to us lot for free because we're doing work for them. We're promoting their game, showing how fun it is, teaching people how to play it. I think they should hand a few free copies out for us.
Yeah, or at least give us a bigger discount.
Well, you look at EA and how they treat their FIFA YouTubers. They'll fly them out to Canada.
Yeah,
I'm not suggesting that SI should do it. Stuff as exaggerated as that, but they fly them out to Canada. They get them playing the game way before it's released. They're releasing tidbits of information, but they work with the people that are promoting their game. Now, I know SI kind of say, well, we can't do that because of licensing stuff and badges and stuff like that that people show in the game. But I think that's a bit of a cop-out, if I'm being honest, because if they said to a certain amount of people, right, you guys, we're going to give you the game early, we want you to test it, we want you to kind of showcase it on your YouTube channel. The only thing is, you can't have badges and player faces and stuff like that. People will go, okay, that's fine, I won't bother doing that, but I'm happy to work with you. But they don't do that, and then they say, well, we can't do it because you're using badges that you've downloaded from the internet. Well, just tell us not to, and tell us to work with you. There's quite an easy way round.
Yeah, I'd like to see them do that for us, because we've played the game so long. Some of us guys have played it for years, and I've grown up with every time new games come out and new features come out, I've learned, and I could pass this on. Something I've learned from being part of FM Scout, and some of you guys might know the same, is when people get in touch with you on Twitter and stuff, and some of them generally don't know how to do some of the most simple things, and it's not because they're not stupid, it's because they're probably new to the game. And we teach people, and I'd love to be able to be a bit more involved and have a go at the game early and help people a bit more, but I can't see them ever doing it. I mean, you ask them a question sometimes and they just laugh at you. So
yeah, even if they just go down to London, because that's wherever they're based, and all it needs is I'm sure that you could pick 10 to 15 people. It's not going to be like it's a stupid amount of people for them. Just to test the game early. I know they got all their testers and stuff, but so do FIFA. You got if you get people that actually got a fairly strong opinion and a really good knowledge on the game doing it, they'll probably, someone like us may well spot something a lot different to some of the testers and have more opinions on it. You know what I mean?
It's not even necessarily just about testing. It's about promoting the game. I mean, you look at how they marketed it this year, and they came under some pretty heavy criticism this year. No, they didn't do a lot, and then they rushed out that terrible gameplay video thing, which didn't have any audio, and it was just brutal. But they obviously did it because they were getting so much criticism. If you get yourself, 10 YouTube players or bloggers or whoever you want down.
They should have done that with the draft mode as well. They could have promoted that draft mode so much more before it even came out. Imagine just one of us, someone up there with Ben or Jack, just doing one game on that draft mode 2 or 3 months before the game came out. It would have got so many more pre-orders and so on as well, because of people would have known what it would have been like. So
I don't know. That's my only criticism, really. It's just I felt like they rested on their laurels a bit this year, certainly with their marketing. And they kind of made up for it. They did that whole event thing in London, and after that, everyone was okay. That's fine. But I did, and it was quite a good little event. I mean, it was it was fairly low budget, to be honest. They had Jack hosting the event, Miles Jacobson doing an interview. They broadcast it on the internet. They had a little table with a few beers and stuff. People could help themselves. So it was low budget.
When I watched it, when they were saying that, I thought, it's going to be a proper kind of thing. But someone was recording it with their phone, weren't they, or something daft? I'm sure.
It was. It was. I mean, the camera wasn't. It was just. But it was. Once they did that, people shut up, didn't they? And so obviously, it wasn't brilliant, but it worked. And it felt like they felt they didn't need to market the game. And this goes back to what I was saying about literature on the game, and just in not having a manual or stuff like that. And I appreciate how big a manual would be,
they used to have
one. Something like that, and it just feels like they're resting on their laurels.
Big, thick book,
massive
with
book.
with champ managers, definitely.
Yeah.
Me and my mate used to call it the champ.
I got an FM case here. Let's see if there was one.
Champ
in there.
Bible, the Champ Bible, and It used to tell you about set up your training, how to do everything. It was good.
See what's in this bucket? I've literally just got like an FM10 case here. I mean, it just tells you how to set up the game. It's more about the preferences and stuff and what they all mean, to be fair.
Right, so we move on to what we want to see in FM18, but we also want to hear from all you guys. We want to know what you want in FM18 and what you like and you dislike. Like to comment down below. So I think mainly one of the things we'd like to see as a group is probably better training.
Yeah.
I'd definitely use it. Don't know if anyone
fair,
else
I can't think of
much
much more other than that, to be fair. The training, it's like I said it before, I just want the ability to kind of set up better training drills and be able to watch training, because I'm sure it was one of the really old LMAs or Championship managers used to be able to do it.
Yeah,
like
training.
You could be able to compare. You could be able to compare like your academy players with like those sort of players. Like it'd be good now because in Germany, where I'm managing, you can't play a player until they turn 17 in that calendar year or something like that, or they've got to be 17 before the season starts. And I would like to see. We had a really good striker who was only 16. I would have liked to see him training with the first team, just to see kind of how good he compared to some of my first team defenders. Just little stuff like that, and I think that would have been a decent addition to the game, to be fair.
So there's nothing else. We all just think training, apart because it is a good game.
I think so long as they keep polishing the match engine, stop the exploits coming in. They need to start. Obviously, there's been almost comical errors when it comes to goalkeeping and defending this year, but I'm sure they'll be ironed out. But I think if it comes from a feature perspective, I would like them to do something a little bit more than just drafts. I'd like to see another element added to the game that would bring something new to Football Manager for us who have been here for a long time.
You need a whole online thing, I think, as well.
But for core elements of the game, training is a must, because it's such a big part of the game that at the moment you can whiz through in not many minutes. And when you consider how much, I'm sure you guys are the same, but when you can consider how many hours you can spend in the transfer market, sorting out your scouts, sorting out your backroom staff. Oh, and I'll just do my training. 3 minutes later, job done. Move on. You know.
Well, I don't know. What do you guys do? I mean, I don't do team training. I go on. I set my coaches up myself, so I've got as many stars on each one, and I do go through each player. And I'll just make sure they're training the position I want them to train, and that they're training and they're at a certain attribute, and that's it. And I might add a player trait, but that doesn't take long to just whiz through, and that's it.
Yeah, well,
I do team training. I change that
periodically. I do everything.
So weekly basis, depending on how many games there is, I'll change from ball control, tactics. So rather than leaving it balanced, I'm in more control as to what is being trained to the players and the intensity level as well on top of that. So if they're just unbalanced, I'll keep it at sort of relatively low or high level, depending on how many games they've got in that week. But I like to switch it for the next week. I'll have them training something else, and if it's, for example, attacking, I'll have high intensity, especially I use a lot of youngsters, and I need those guys to improve, so I'll put the intensity up. But at the moment, that's about as in-depth as you can get. It doesn't really go much further, and that's the problem.
Yeah, well, I did
I know a lot of people also. Oh, go on, sorry.
I did the video on the FM Scout how I set up training, and because the general training it only really takes effect after about 3 or 4 months. So you only see an increase of attributes in the 3 or 4 months. So I set it, and then I don't touch it for about 4 months. So, like, imagine a real manager does that. He doesn't rock up the training for 4 months until he comes back and changes it. It's just not realistic. I know what they're. Yeah, I know what they're trying to get from the training. It's just to increase attributes, but it could be done a lot better. I'll go back and I might get some booze. I'll go back to FIFA Manager. They used to have individual training categories or individual training. What would it be? Just how they train the players, but. You could, separate it and separate your fullbacks and your midfielders, and then I would spend most of the time, because there was nothing else really in depth in the game. I'd spend most of the time just in the training because that's what you do as a manager. I think it's most of your time should be spent there.
You used to be able to do it. Yeah, you used to be able to do it with categories on Football Manager, I'm sure, where you could just separate it all and set the. I think they've changed it though. You used to set it all separately.
Yeah.
Because you used to be able to download good training guides and stuff on Football Manager, and then on like websites, and they stopped it all.
Yeah.
I'm sure you could separate your goalkeepers to do their own training regime. Your fullbacks do their own, centre backs do their own.
That's how it should
be.
Yeah,
Exactly. And you used to be able to do it. And then I think FM 09 or 10. I think it was FM 10 or 11. Yeah, they stopped it.
Yeah.
Altogether. Yeah.
Well, you should be able to do some group training, but they do have goalkeepers go away in real life, don't they? Do a bit of training.
Yeah.
That's how it should be. But yeah, I'd like to see that because I love that. I like getting a player who's good and young and feeling like I've had a part in making him great. And I love that part. I love training him and hopefully, I'd like to see more with the tutoring and stuff like that. But we'll have to wait and see if they do it because they don't seem like they're that bothered about it at the minute from what they said when the game came out this year. All right, guys, that's the end of the first episode of Talking Balls with FM Scout. It's just an introduction to us and it's just us talking about what we like about the game so far. Hopefully going forward we'll add a few things. We're hoping we'll have a few quizzes, a few special guests, and yeah, it's going to be good. So I just want to say goodbye. I don't know if everyone else wants to say goodbye.
Catch you later.
And everyone's channel will be down below. Check the description, and also there'll be a link soon to the competition we're going to be running on FM Scout. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the episode, don't forget to like it. And if you're new to FM Scout, feel free to subscribe. See you later.